Hey guys, today I want to talk about what I think, in my opinion, is one of the best things that never happened for Trucks Gone Wild. I know that sounds weird, but it'll all make sense here in a little bit. I'll try to make this quick, but you know me. Sometimes when I'm telling these stories, I get a little sideways. It happens. Now, the cool thing about this is if you talk to my business partners, Chuck or Chris, about this, they may give you a totally different answer, and that is awesome. I totally respect that. But today, I'm going to give you my opinion on the best thing that never happened for Trucks Gone Wild. Now, let's go back to when the company started, and this was like our little baby that we did, and we're trying to make this thing grow. And all we're trying to do is get recognition and get coverage and all this, that, the other. Now, for whatever reason, a couple years in, we start getting articles written in Four Wheeler Magazine and in Peterson's Four Wheel and Off-Road. It was like Fred Williams, Ken Brubaker, and there were two other guys, and their names escape me, and I hate the fact that I don't remember their names right now, but it was like those four guys were writing all of the articles. And every now and then they write an article about Trucks Gone Wild. And we noticed, I mean, boom, like the website was getting more traffic. If we had just put out a DVD, we might have been selling a few more of those whenever the articles came out. We eventually got to know those guys. And it was really cool because here we are, just a bunch of normal dudes who just happened to be doing some fun, cool stuff, right? So that was the start of it. Then, of course, I mentioned Lucas Oil on the Edge on one of the other videos, and Lucas Oil on the Edge would start having Trucks Gone Wild events on there. Every now and then on Truck U, we'd have a little bit of a Trucks Gone Wild mention. And those were the days, too, where they had those little half-hour shows that were full of, like, clips, zany clips, and then they just had a voiceover guy go over all of it. And I remember, like, a lot of the footage that we had would end up on those shows as well. So the ball's rolling, everything's good, right? Fast forward a little bit, one of my buddies that's involved and one of the higher up ends of Brenton Productions, which Brenton Productions owns Truck U, he had a buddy who owned another production company. That guy and his company, they were looking for content. They always are. They just want content. At that time, and I want to say we're going back 10 or so years ago, right? Could be 12, could be 8. Don't quote me on that. But Party Down South was a very popular show. And I don't know if that was on CMT or MTV, whatever it was. But it was just basically like Jersey Shore, except the people had Southern accents, right? And I think they were college kids in the South. I didn't watch the show, and they would just party their balls off and misbehave, and the ratings followed. And it was a pretty phenomenally successful show for a couple of years. And I think the idea was that this guy with the production company wanted to kind of capitalize on that. And he saw a couple of our DVDs where there were big parties and you know, a lot of people. And he was like, whoa. And there's a bonus because there's all these huge badass trucks and stuff in the background too. What can we do with this? So the meetings start, right? And I would say over the course of maybe a year and a half, we probably had a half a dozen meetings, lunches, dinners. Whenever they were in the Central Florida area, they'd be like, hey, meet us over here and let's go over some Discovery type meetings. I don't mean Discovery Channel. I mean Discovery, like, let's all just bounce ideas off of one another. So that went on for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, you know, just when you think the interest is gone, they call up and they're like, all right, boys, time to make the pilot. And we're like, this is going to be awesome. So they basically got a crew together and popped around to a couple different Trucks Gone Wild events to get a lot of the footage for the year. And we shot at Louisiana Mudfest. We shot at Redneck Yacht Club down there in Florida when it was called that. Where did we shot at Cowboys and Michigan Mud Jam. So I know we probably shot somewhere else too. I don't know, but they're just taking bits and pieces and all this, that, the other, right? They had we had a security team, which was Scotty Sherbon and Adam Wemple, and they would come into the events, and it was fun, you know. But the production company would try to put us in these unrealistic scenarios. We always thought these events are crazy enough. You could probably just follow us around with cameras and get all the craziness that you wanted, but no, in true reality fashion, they had to basically exaggerate everything, recreate everything, and make it totally fake. I sound bitter, and I'm not. I just know how this whole reality TV thing goes, right? So it's still fun. We go around, we shoot, and all this. But what's happening is we noticed that they're trying to kind of get the characters, which was all of us and a handful of other people, and it kind of starting to tell us what to say. And it's stuff that we would never, ever say. And a lot of people will do that in reality TV. The producer will say, well, say this, and they just say it. You know, with us, we had a business to kind of protect. And we were like, we would never say that in a million years. And he's like, you want to be on TV, don't you? And I was like, dude, we're already on TV. You know, that doesn't work with us. We're not going to say something that's going to make everybody here look dumb and make our company look stupid. And if you don't like what we say, just edit it out. So it kind of went along that way. I don't know if my attitude necessarily helped that situation, but it still came together good, right? Because some time went by and the pilot got produced and it got sent to us to check it out. It was craziness. It was mayhem, you know? And we're like, this is funny. And it'd be a lot more entertaining if it wasn't us, because we kind of looked like idiots, you know, and we did a good enough job making ourselves look like idiots. We didn't need somebody else doing it, you know, on a bigger scale. And so I'm getting a little bit nervous now because I'm thinking this could be good exposure, right? Because some people will say all TV is good TV. I don't know if that's true. The thing I didn't want to do was have to be on a 2 or 3 year long apology tour after the TV goes away, apologizing to all of our friends that come to the events, and then fixing up all of the relationships with the venues that would have been ruined. Because what happened in the shooting sometimes, they would just stage a big fight, like a brawl, right? And in line coming into the place. They did this down at Redneck one time. And they just staged this big fight, and it was supposed to look like we had no control at the event. Well, the problem is 90% of the people in line don't know that this is staged. They think it's real. And then all hell breaks loose. And then I've got to spend the next 3 hours explaining to the guys at the park going, yeah, that production company. And they're like, well, who are they with? They're with us. You know, it was one of those things. So regardless, you kind of fast forward a couple of years. That show was getting shopped to different networks. It didn't work with the Party Down South. I don't know what happened with that. Then they were going to put it as a lead-in. And there was a show about a big biker bar out in Sturgis that they said was only open 1 week out of the year. And Jesse James Dupree from Jackal was involved. And like Jackal was playing there every night. I used to watch the show. And they're like, we're going to be a lead-in for that. And I thought, okay, well, that's pretty cool. That never happened either. And then when they're pitching the show and you are there, you're getting phone calls, you're getting emails, you're getting all the attention, right? As soon as the show gets no interest from anybody, they're not calling you back, you're not getting any emails. That's how the business goes. It's all good. So that's it in a nutshell. When I look back on that, I'm so thankful that that particular show did not make it to air. And it was tough because as an entrepreneur, you start this thing and you work on it and you want it so badly, and then it doesn't happen, that it's a little bit devastating. But and anybody that's started their own business, I'm sure you can relate to that. But at some point, time goes by and you look back and you go, it's probably a good thing that didn't make it to air. And why? Because we all knew at that time that there were better things down the road. One of which was Dirty Mutter Truckers on Discovery Channel. And that was way better. Dirty Mutter Truckers, for the most part, was a wonderful, fun experience. And we'll get into more on that in the next video. But again, this was just a funny little thing about something that I don't think most people know about, especially if you've just come into the Trucks Gone Wild world the last couple of years. You certainly don't know about it because there was only a handful of people involved. But again, probably the best thing that never happened to Trucks Gone Wild. Thanks for watching again, guys. Please share this, do whatever you can do, and we will talk to you later on. Dirty Mutter Truckers is probably going to be the next video. See ya.